The over-the-top beat-em-up Jitsu Squad finally finds itself arriving on the Nintendo Switch and other platforms after a long wait. How is the Switch port? Well, you're gonna find out soon enough if it's worthy of a Ninja Master or one you should pass on by. So make sure to hang on and subscribe to the channel as you find out all the details in today's review. Jitsu Squad is a co-op beat-em-up game that was originally a Kickstarter project, and it got fully funded and was released on PC this past March. After a long wait, it is finally seeing a release on consoles this week on December 9th, and of course I'm taking a look at the Switch port. Before we continue, I was given a review code for the game by the publisher for purposes of review, and as always, opinions are my own. So first things first, what separates this from other beat-em-ups out there? I mean, we received a lot of beat-em-ups on the Switch, from both past and present, so what makes this one stand out? Well, it does have a few things going its way. First of all, it is visually a treat, with its over-the-top cartoon graphics and fluid visuals. Everything is very well animated. It also has a lot of references and inspiration from a ton of arcade games, beat-em-ups, and fighting games. Why fighting games, you ask? Well, its combo system, while easy to learn, does feature some typical fighting inputs that you can use to deal massive damage and increase your combos. For example, heroes down forward plus the attack button creates a forward slash, which is a typical fighting game input. Mastering these inputs will allow you to get far in the game and of course increase your combos and points. One of the other neat features of the combat is the delayed input system. Delaying pressing certain inputs allows you to do different combo attacks. It's a great way to add depth to the combat without making the controls too complex. In addition to the main combo mechanics, there are special moves that you can unleash after building up your meter, plus items and weapons to pick up to deal massive damage to opponents on screen, and even being able to transform into Ultimate Armor mode to deal damage while being invincible. Simply put, there's no shortage of ways to bring the pain in this game. Beyond the visuals and combat mechanics, there's one more thing that sets this game apart from most beat-em-ups, and that's the fact you can control up to 2 characters at once if you wish. With a simple press of the ZL button, you can tag the other character in to swap and possibly pull off bigger combos. It's a neat addition that's similar to, say, fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom. Of course, you can play as one character, aka solo mode, but tag team mode does allow for some nice variety. Also note, there is multiplayer up to 2 players in local co-op play. As for the playable characters, there's 4 main ones: Hero, Baby, Jazz, and Aros. They all have different stats and movesets. Hero is the all-rounder, while Baby has access to a lot of long-range attacks, but has less HP. Jazz is one that's very easy to pull off close-range combos with, and Aros is a heavy hitter, not as easy to pull off deep combos with, but hits like a tank. There's a good variety between the 4 characters. Now this game has received some pretty positive reviews on the PC. So how is the Switch port? How's the performance? Well, this is the part of the review where I have to say, I got some bad news. Put it bluntly, the game has some major performance issues, among other things, to a point I just cannot recommend this version of the game. There are several faults currently with the game. Often during gameplay, there's big spikes of lag, sometimes very severe, that can make it an absolute chore to play, especially at higher difficulties. Often assets literally load in while playing, creating a blocky glitch effect as they load that you often see, especially in later levels. At first I thought it was a weird, intentional thing, but then soon realized that yeah, it was definitely not intended to happen this way. Later stages can be really bad with this, as whole parts of the stage can become a blocky mess at times. The sound in the game has issues. It often goes in and out during gameplay, whether it be a cutscene or in a stage itself, and sometimes it's to a point that it cuts out entirely for long periods at times. The soundtrack is amazing, but it's completely hampered by these audio issues. But the cherry on top is the fact the game crashes a lot. Luckily, there's an autosave, but it's still frustrating nevertheless. That is, until you get to the last stage, like myself, and it ends up crashing every single time, making the game currently unbeatable for myself. Just terrific. This all goes on without getting to the fact that the load times are often occurring a lot during gameplay, and sometimes they can be incredibly long. When you first load up into story mode, the load time is so long, you'll probably wonder if the game locked up there. It's that bad. Now at the time of making this review, there's no patch for me to download, and no idea if there's one inbound for launch day, but if that so happens, I'll make sure to revisit this game if the issues have been corrected. But holy moly, yeah, this is bad, and it's atrocious how this game is in this state on the Switch. And while I cannot speak for the other console versions, the Switch version is not recommended at this point as the version to play this game. I often found myself having to take breaks from playing the game because the performance just drove me insane. It's an absolute shame too. If these issues were not present, then yeah, this would be a definite recommend. It looks gorgeous. The combat mechanics are fun as well as the gameplay. It would be one of the more recommended beat 'em ups on the platform for sure. But as it stands, this game needs its issues corrected before I can recommend anyone touching the Switch version. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If so, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and of course, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the latest videos, reviews, and of course those eShop sale deep dives. But for now, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.
Thank you.